Yet fetishes women of Reddit. What fetish is really hard to find in men? Over a drunken drinking game. I found out one of the girls that lived above us in student accommodation had a thing for guys coming too quick and getting embarrassed. The issue was, without fail, every guy she had told about it will inevitably just try and come really quick, which wasn't the same thing. I don't know why, but I found the entire thing hilarious. I love when men come inside of me without protection. This is, obviously, an issue. I don't know if this truly counts as a fetish, but I love when men are noisy, loud and frequent moaning, groaning, gasping. I love the sound of them losing control, essentially, and really enjoying themselves. But every guy I've had sex with barely makes any sound besides heavy breathing, and it's so frustrating. Please fucking moan in my ear. I am tired of the stigma that women like quiet guys. Please moan. It's hard to find someone who is good at being an aggressive dom, but who isn't an asshole. Seems like the only guys who can really give it to you rough and mean are rough and mean in other aspects too. It's not that it's hard to find, there is quite an abundance actually, but it's really hard to find one that isn't a jerk. I've struggled to find men who will let me do anything anal on them. Even oral weirds most of them out, /edit. I should clarify anal, oral, and no poop. I want a man to act like he kidnapped me and I'm his prisoner, and he's like in between acting nice and acting like a psychopath. Not a woman. But it's real hard to find a bro to do bro stuff with. You know? Just muscular dudes to hang. Nothing sexual. I mean, guys who like being submissive. Most of them won't admit it. I'm dominant and sadist towards man in sex. Most of them want to be dominant too. Also food fetish. Definitely not common. Coming inside. Loud moaning. And talking. I love being talked to, i.e. tell me I feel good. I'm pretty. Etc. And obviously I want to say those things too. Guys I've been with think that's weird. Not to mention I have mommy fetish, so not a lot of guys are really with that lol that I've encountered. And the premature cum thing. Oh yes. I don't tell guys that I like that. So they don't actively try to do it. So if it happens it's way more organic, and they're actually overwhelmed and embarrassed and being choked. Guys will do it, but not as hard as I would like. They're always scared to hurt me. Edit. WTF, I just came back and this has blown up, what the heck. It's hard to find a guy who wants, like, rough sex where he is dominant, but where it's not like whips and chains level. Guys are either way too kinky for me or way too vanilla. I feel like I can never find an in-between. Edit. Not sure why so many people are trying to argue and tell me I'm wrong. I answered the question based on my own experience. The majority of men I've dated fall into two types. Type 1 kink level 100. They want to be master/slave 24/7. They want to piss down your throat and watch you fuck a dog. Type 2 kink level ZZZZZZZZZZ. Don't want to hurt me. Tell me I'm too loud. Grossed out when I spit on their dick. Always want to do it in the bed. I request slapping, and they lightly pat my ass once. I request talking, and they say one sentence during sex. Lol. I'm not bad at communicating my desires. It has been truly difficult to find someone on my level. And I'm too old and set in my ways to want to explore or go beyond my current level. I know my boundaries. Also, I seek to be dominated. It takes all the pleasure out of it if I have to tell the guy to dominate me. But I'm pretty good at letting the guy know what he can safely do to me. Another level of this, as some have mentioned, is just guys being terrified of being accused of rape. And I don't blame them. I always suggest a safe pornophilia from the top. Lots of guys want to be human furniture. But it's hard to find one who wants to use a woman as furniture. But you can pretty much extrapolate that to any fetish that doesn't involve actual fucking. Non-sup guys may be willing to play at a little BDSM before the fucking. But what they really want is to fuck. And it shows. I honestly feel bad for women. I was on vacation and met an English guy who thought doggy style was wild sex. For those mentioning public sex. No, that's not what he meant. I like risky sex in terms of pregnancy. I would never turn a fetish into a lifelong commitment. So I will personally take precautions. But the fantasy of I'm going to come in you and knock you up, and he's telling me so while he's about to come, when he thinks it's a genuine possibility, is insanely hot to me. But no one I've ever been with has been able to be comfortable with it. *TOTALLY* understand why. It gives me all the power while he loses it after he finishes. So I wouldn't push it on a soul. But it is the only thing that reliably gets me off. Anal. Or letting me touch their belly. Love a nice chubby man tummy. I enjoy dominating men. But unfortunately every guy I ever dated liked to dominate as well. I dated a girl years back who wondered why more straight men wouldn't let her fuck them in the ass with a strap on. I would put that up there. For guys to act all sexy and sultry. Gasping. Moaning. Biting their lip. Basically like the way they stereotypically expect women or twink gay guys to act during sex. Holding hands. I know a woman who is a professional dominatrix. She's told me some interesting things her clients are into. A lot more guys than you would think are into some kinky shit. According to her, dominating is my business, and business is good in a major pain tone. Pretty much all my fetishes. Exhibitionism. Femdom/BDSM as a sub and a dom. Pegging. He comes too quickly and gets embarrassed? Into that too. Never given a rim job. But never found someone willing. I'm up to try anything. Mostly just tie me up to the bed and torture me for hours until I start crying. Not a lot of guys are into making their partner cry. A guy that's comfortable with anal? Fuck yes. Nothing is hotter than giving a guy a very intense orgasm. Never had a guy complain or dislike my spanking and oral fetish though. Or that I love to worship dick. I have accepted my life will pretty much always be vanilla sex though. Having a partner I'm in love with means a lot more to me than some kinky sex. My imagination keep me plenty satisfied most of the time. I bet impregnation ain't high on the list. Edit. Apparently nobody understands that my joke is about men wanting to get pregnant themselves. A dominant man who isn't just an abusive asshole using BDSM as an excuse. I'll admit it, I have a consensual non-consent fetish. And I guess it's hard to bring up and find guys who are willing to do that stuff. Lots of guys are into being dominant and rough, which is usually what I'll settle for. But the only two I've brought up the rape fantasy thing with have been too uncomfortable with it and refused. One actually said I should get therapy for liking that stuff. And I'm afraid of specifically seeking out guys that are also into CNC because I feel like the fetish attracts some fucked up characters. Bad people. Not all of course, but it's daunting. I like being slapped in the face. Most guys don't want to hit girls. Which is good. But also lame. IDK what mine is called. I just like getting people off. I don't even have to get off. But knowing that something I did made you so worked up that you had to come. I'll play into any owns fetish. As long as they get off or get insane pleasure from it. Dude here, YMMV, I've been surprised that many of my female partners are very into videos of me masturbating and coming. I'm specifically talking just a video of me playing with my bits and money shots. It's like none of their partners asked if they'd like that sort of thing. A couple have even told me that they asked prior partners for coming videos and they were always turned down. One that I'm barely seeing anymore has given me permission to send her anything at any time. No other guys want to do it. She likes being a voyeur into my personal pleasure. She loves knowing that I was thinking of them during and that they were the ones making the magic happen. I think it's called Kakuyan. Really wanna watch my husband fuck another girl while I'm restrained / doing the dirty work, and they taunt me. He is not really into other women and most women aren't into being watched. I've pretty much successfully explored all my other fetishes. And phew. There's a lot. Well, I haven't done a lot of roleplay with power disparities. Now that I think of it. It's salad harder to find men who will use you like you won't break. My BFRN knows that I like basically being used like a doll. Yet in the past I couldn't find any guy who would go as far and like choking. Even during threesomes you have one guy being rough and the other going at his own pace. I'm into watching men pee or making them watch me pee. I don't like touching the pee. I just like watching or being watched. So I wouldn't know if you can really call it water sports. I like Amoroshi too. Also, when I was dating my ex I was too shy to ask if he was into anal, but on him, I'd love to rim a guy or even peg him. I also really like being cream peed. But that's a bit dangerous. This is the most personal stuff I've ever really posted on Reddit, so I'm a bit embarrassed. But I don't know if these are hard to find, because I don't want to be the one to bring it up.